What's up, people? This is Jimmy in the By the Hood webcast/podcast. Depends upon how you're consuming this content, whether you're watching the video or you're listening as you're on your commute to work or what have you. But this is a special episode. This is episode 5, and we have a very special guest in the building. He's known on the internets as the real estate bully, but we have the brother Thomas Montgomery on. Before I get him to speak, I just want to say a couple things. So I met Tom a couple years ago at various real estate events in the city of Philadelphia. But what struck me about him was he was a younger guy, very humble, but also he asked the right questions. And one thing he may not know that I remember is he actually came to one of the events that we had. So we did a free seminar in the community, and he came and he had a notebook and he was just sitting there taking notes and asking questions. And it was very impressive for someone that age, because one thing I tell people all the time, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but just learn to ask questions and ask the right questions. You can get far. I mean, this guy's out here doing big deals. He's very active in the real estate community, and I see him just prospering and growing and being a force within this industry. So I want to get him to come on and talk about himself and also a little bit about his real estate business and what he's got going on. So Tom, first off, welcome to the podcast, man, and thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you bringing me on, Jimmy.
Yeah, no doubt. So, give the people a little bit about your background. How far did you go in terms of schooling, and how did you end up in the real estate business?
All right. So, I graduated from college, 4-year degree, went to IUP, turned up a lot there. I wasn't really focused on, really what I wanted to do. I was majoring in business, graduated with my business degree, concentration, operation management. I got a job with Aramark maybe like 2 months after college, and they moved me to Cleveland, Ohio. My choices was Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, or Chicago. I just knew I wasn't going to Chicago at the time. Chief Keef was popping, so I knew that was out. That was out. And Pittsburgh is about an hour from college, so I was like, man, I'm going back there every weekend party. I'm not going to grow, so decided to go to Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't know anybody there, and everybody I worked with was like 40 plus. So weekends and after work, I had nothing to do. Good thing was I started watching HGTV like everybody else. Kind of wanted to get into it. I took a class at IUP because I needed one more class to graduate. I took a real estate course, got a D in that. And I kept the book though. I never sold my books, but I kept the book, and I'm sitting there watching HGTV, and I got the book sitting there. So I figured, let me read it. I started reading it. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with real estate. I started figuring out maybe mortgages or whatever it was, and I'm like, man, I want to flip homes, and it kept coming back to wholesaling. I'm like, oh, that's the best way to do it. No money down, no credit. I'm like, man, I want to fix it and sell it. I don't want to do this wholesale thing. This sound, that's the bottom of the barrel work. I wanted to be top dog, so got my ego out the way and started learning how to wholesale. I really did it for like 2 years of trying to learn how to wholesale and trying it. After Cleveland, I moved to DC for 2 years, and I just was there, just kind of shots in the dark. There wasn't too many platforms like this, or too many Instagram to say, hey, how'd you do it, or what are you doing? So just constant reading, constant YouTube, podcasts. I think I might have watched every single Bigger Pockets podcast. Kept constantly trying to grow. Like I said, taking shots in the dark, and I finally got a call for one of my letters. I tried the handwriting letter thing. It wasn't for me, so I typed everything. I should do like 500 like every 2 weeks. So I sent out 500 letters constantly, and I got a call. I'm in DC. Drove back up that night when a guy called me, met him that day, put under contract, and I was able to make $5,500 off that deal.
Nice. Real quick, because you said a couple things. For one, what's up with all you IUP guys? I run into a lot of IUP guys just in the game in general. There's a lot of guys in real estate that come from IUP. Like, they got a program or something. Like, what's up with that?
Nah, man. IUP will make you a hustler, man. You up there in the mountains, it's cold, ain't nothing to do,
Got you.
You gotta make some money. I threw parties there. I was throwing like big parties there, like at least, the whole black population to be there. At the end of the night, I made about $4 or $5 grand. I was renting the place out. We built steps in there and everything. So IUP definitely turned into a hustler. My man Mike Link, he do real estate. He real big with this right now. He growing real fast.
It's crazy because you gave me a couple things to ask you about just to break that down further. So in terms of throwing parties, I see right there that you have the skill set of being able to organize. So that's a skill set that you can, transfer into this business. But also one thing that you put out there, which is a gem, I think, is that taking shots in the dark. Like, you're not afraid. And anyone getting into this business, that's something that you could take from Tom right there. You see, he's talking about sending out 500 letters. He's going to different cities and trying. So you consume the information, but it's not just about consuming the information. So a lot of tips that I give people on a daily basis is do something, because everybody can listen to the podcast, read the books, but nothing is like the experience of actually going out there and trying it. And you're not afraid. So, for one, kudos for that. And I mean, I think that's a gem in itself. Not being afraid, though, so I'm pretty sure you've also run across people who they just want to consume content and they never try anything, right?
Yeah, all the time, especially on Instagram. My DMs are crazy. But I would definitely say, like, as far as shot in the dark, like I was a little scared at first too. Like, I call what I was on. It took me 3 years, basically 2 years to get my first deal. I call what I was doing the gym workout, where you start, you stop, you start, you stop, you see a little progress, you stop. So that was me for 2 years. I starting and stopping, and I read a chapter, and I wouldn't read another chapter for like 2-3 months. And after a while, I'm like, man, if you're gonna do this, you got to do it. And that's when I started kind of taking them shots in the dark. Like, man, people tell me they're making 20,000 off one deal. Let me see what I can get. So I take them shots, and once you take that shot in the dark, you hit something, you're gonna keep shooting.
Yeah, I remember I worked for a company in Germantown, in Philadelphia, when I was a young boy, and I first got into the real estate game. I worked for a lady named Virginia Messa at Messa Realty, right? So, and she taught me a lot. She gave me a lot of game, and I used to get frustrated, like taking shots in the dark, nothing working out. And one day she hit me with the thing. She said, "Well, did you die?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "So why you care?" And once she hit me with that, it kind of changed everything. I was like, "Yeah, you're right." Like, who cares about the whole thing? And you also said swallow your ego. So that's another gem right there, right? So you got to swallow your ego to get in this game.
Right. So that was big for me. That was big for me. I had to really swallow my ego, because I'm in school, I'm throwing these parties, everybody, I'm the man, and then I get out of school and it's like I'm back at square one, and I was used to being the man, so let me try to figure out how can I be the man. And to me, real estate was like the best way to be the man, because I get to be myself. People I'm seeing, I was following Jay Morrison at the time. He was heavy Burberry and Gucci's, and I'm like, oh shit, that's how I dress.
But and that's good you say that, though, because that's one thing about like our platform and other platforms, is that one of the things we want to highlight is everyday people. So, because representation matters. So there might be somebody watching this or listening to this and hear your story, and that resonates with them, because you hustled your way into this game, and now you're doing deals. And
that's
I'm pretty sure
I got my Instagram name.
Yeah, the real estate bully. Yeah, there you go. So it's like after you got that first deal, I know that like that was it. You knew it worked, because once you realize that it works.
I'm not going to
How long did it take to go from that, though? I was about to ask you, how long did it take to go from the first one to another one?
Not long. I got my first deal 5,500. I was working my job, $50,000 job with Aramark in DC. I got that 5,500. I think Doug had put a 2-week notice on his Instagram. I straight copied and pasted that, put my name, and turned it right in. They said, "What you gonna do? You ain't big man. You think you might? I got the ego. What you gonna do, big man? You think what you gonna do?" And I'm like, I don't want to do this real estate, man. Y'all crazy. So took that 55.
So you made one wholesale deal and put your 2-week notice.
I'm out. I know, it's really what it is. I know my hustle. I was working that job for 12 hours a day, then leaving that one and working 5 and still going home and doing a little wholesale work. So I knew, I'm like, oh, shit, if I can get myself 8 to 12 hours in the streets, doing wholesale, I'm like, I can make a nice amount of money. I made 5,500 in 3 weeks, and then turned around 3 weeks later and I made 1,200. And then after that, I made 20. And then this all my first year, by October, I made 75,000 on one deal.
Nice, man. That's nice. So things worked out. So basically, you that title fits you, the real estate bully. You just hustled your way in the game. So you're a master wholesaler, like and I follow on Instagram. I watch how much work you put in terms of the letters and all that. So can you talk a little bit about your marketing? Like, how hard do you go in terms of marketing? You even got stuff like, listen, I've been in the game for a long time. I've been in the game 20 years. You even got stuff I was like, yo, that is genius. Like the parking ticket thing to me was the illest thing I think I've seen.
You know, somebody just stole it. Somebody just stole it.
That's listen, man. That's a form of flattery, man.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna hold you. When I saw that, I was ready to steal it. I was like, that's hard. Like I never seen no one do that. Like, and for those who don't know, like in Philadelphia, we have the parking authority who write you tickets and they look a certain way. But he actually developed his marketing to look like that and put them on people's cars. I thought that was dope. Where'd you get that idea from?
So when I worked in DC, when I lived in DC, some guy put $100. So I had the $100 bill thing too, but somebody put $100 bill on my car, and I'm drunk coming from the club. I'm like, oh man, I got $100, and it was a little marketing for his CD, and I'm like, damn, like that was kind of dope, and it made me think of the $100 bill, and then also the parking tickets. I'm like, if I would have came out to a ticket, I'd been pissed. So I kind of been sitting on it for like 2 years, and I'm like, man, let me try this out. We go out middle of the night, we hit a couple hoods. It's like the fastest marketing I've ever done, and it's the response is crazy because you get some people that think it's a good idea, some people think it's a bad idea. I've had just in 2 weeks I've been doing it. I had the 911 call, 311, state reps, board leaders, all kinds of little stuff. I'm just hoping that it make the news, man. I want to be on Fox.
The reason it's stuck out to me is because, and I'm pretty sure it's like this in every like big city, right? So you see people who do wholesaling. We buy houses, I buy houses, she buys houses, the bandit signs and all that. Not that they don't work, because I've seen success with all of them. But at the same time, when you see something different that stands out, I kind of took notice of that. So I thought that was pretty dope. So my question is this, though. We see that you got the wholesaling game down pat. What are some of your long-term goals? Do you like want to continue to always wholesale? Are you getting into any buy and hold? Are you getting into bigger flips? What's your long-term goals now?
So I'm actually I close on my first flip tomorrow morning.
Dope.
It's actually a property I found through Walking for Dollars. I just kind of walked in the neighborhood in Germantown, found a few properties, reached out to the owner. It was between me and like 6 other wholesalers. I was able to get it for $40,000. I actually wholesaled it to myself for $45,000, so I needed a little $5,000 for that first draw. Put about 60 into it, and we closed tomorrow. I listed it for 165. We closed tomorrow. I got 175 for it.
Nice.
So right now,
you said something that was very interesting, right? Because I want you to break down that deal, because people out there who are just getting started may not know that you can wholesale to yourself to get the money that you need for the first draw. So explain how you structured that.
So I had just found out about that. My friend Reek told me about it, and I know, I do my wholesale thing. I'm able to find properties and make a profit off of it. So what I did was actually just made the contract, whereas my one LLC found the property and then sold it to my other LLC. So I was able to cash the check under my Montgomery merit account, and then the property is actually under another LLC. And I'm glad I did that, because I definitely need that money.
Yeah, that's dope. And another piece of advice that I've been hearing consistently through this talk is how, and I mentioned this in the beginning, you're not afraid to learn from other people and ask questions.
Right.
So, you can see you're going along with, now you're getting into the flip game. So what's next after that? You just want to maintain flips and wholesales? Are you ever going to do buy and holds, or what's your long-term goal?
So my long-term goal, really, like the long, like whatever, ever many years, is to be a lender. I guess, that would be everyone's, long-term goal. But right now I really want to get into like just buying rental properties. I just want like a limited amounts of rental properties. Man, Aisha is like the GOAT. So that's my inspiration right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So she want 43 units right now. I'm trying to hit 43, by the time 30. So I guess my end goal really is, me and Derek do the wholesale secrets thing. I just really want to put as many people on wholesaling as I can. Wholesaling, I feel like it isn't always going to be my bread maker. It isn't going to go anywhere. But I want to put as many people on as I can, because, eventually I won't have the time to wholesale. And I just kind of want to be the first person in their mind when they find the deal. As long as I get it first, I'll give you all the information. Just send me the deal first.
And see, that's something that's dope. You're thinking eventually you want to go to another level, right? And by you putting them on, you'll be their go-to guy when you get to that level. So you're not afraid to share information. And I think that's also honorable right there. Because, you know, sometimes our people, when they get information, they don't want to share it at all. I'm seeing a change in that though, right? So I'm seeing it, and shout out to Aisha, because me and Aisha actually went to high school together. So our high school was out there, you know.
That's dope. Okay.
Yeah, so, putting out a, you know, real estate tycoon. Although I'm broke though, anybody out there, I'm broke.
Yeah.
But I think it's dope though that, you know, you and your partner, and I got to get him on here as well, and a lot of other people that I see are sharing information. So I think it's some sort of like paradigm shift in our community, because more people are talking about business, more people are talking about real estate, more people are talking about investments. So I think that's dope overall.
Right.
And another point I want to make about what you said about getting to the point of being a lender, I also found that interesting, because some of the wealthiest people that I know in real estate that I've met through the years, it's like they've always gotten to that point. And I remember when I first got in the game, I didn't understand it, but it's to the point now, like the wealthiest people I know in real estate don't even have like the physical bricks. They just trade paper. And it's crazy, right? There are people that make millions and millions of dollars and never touch bricks, but are in the real estate business. And one of the things I want to stress to people is that the great thing about real estate is there are so many ways to make money, right?
Facts.
So I travel the world speaking about real estate. When I was in Australia last month, I met a gentleman over there who owns what's known as a REIT, a real estate investment trust. He owns a bunch of those. He actually made money, listen to this, flipping farms, owns a bunch of REITs. So he gets money coming in on a monthly or quarterly basis and doesn't have any physical bricks, right? I was in DC this past week. I met somebody else who runs a property management business and has several hundred properties that they just collect the 10% on every month. They don't own the bricks either and make millions of dollars in real estate. So the illest thing about real estate is there are so many ways to get money, whether you're flipping, whether you're wholesaling, whether you're renting. So it's just like, you know, I always tell people that learning real estate is an amazing thing, because it also, the skills you learn in real estate can translate into other businesses. So
I actually put that on my Instagram, like real estate changed my life. I just put that up there, and I really just kind of was sitting and reflecting, like, man, it's been almost 3 years since I've had a job. Bills are still getting paid. I just had a son. He got food and clothes and everything. And I'm just like, man, it's really changed my life. And like you said, it kind of, there's so many different avenues to be a millionaire, a billionaire in real estate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of what brought me into real estate, where like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I kind of researched everything, and I'm like, well, man, you can't really lose with anything you do in real estate.
So many ways, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of was a little upset after, like, once I started doing it. I'm like, man, I wish I didn't go to college, man. Like, so I was kind of upset that no one gave me the information. So this is why I kind of give it back, because if I would have found this out in 12th grade, I've always been the same person. Like, I'm not, different person. Like, when I was younger, I was the guy up shoveling, and I would go get like shovel contracts. I'll go get, friends got up, yo, we already got 6 houses to do. Let's go get this money. So I've always been like that. Yeah. So if I would have knew about wholesaling before, man, I'd have been right.
That's interesting, right? So, like, I went to college too, right? But that's actually how I discovered the real estate game, right? So I was at Lincoln University, and I was majoring in political science. So I've always been someone that wanted to help my people, and I told the story in my book as well. But so I was working on some political campaigns, like, yeah, I got you. I was working on some political campaigns in between, like, semesters, and talking to the candidates, seeing how everything is structured, how everything worked. And what I recognized was the people that ran the campaigns were the ones that made the biggest donations. So the donors actually were running some of the and this is a local stuff. So this is nothing national, whatever. Local judges, city council people. So I worked a couple of campaigns, and I'm noticing how they defer to the people that give them the money. And then I start asking questions, getting back to the idea of asking questions, right? What do you do? And everybody had made money one or two ways. Either they had money in stocks, and most of them had money in real estate. And then I made a pivot right there. I'm like, so the power isn't the actual candidate. It's the one cutting the checks. The money, the power is in the actual checks. So I made a pivot and got into the real estate game. And, so that's how it kind of worked out for me. But let me ask you a question, though. You said, because that's an interesting topic also in our community right now, is whether it's worth it or not to go to college. And the question I have is, you have a degree. Did you take anything from that actually helped you in the real estate game?
To be honest, I didn't take nothing from a classroom and has helped me do real estate. Everything from those parties has helped me though. Everything
Okay.
from the parties I've thrown or whatever it was at school, that's what really helped me. It's like before going to college, I was a little shy, so you throwing parties. I needed the money, so I'm throwing these parties. You know, in Philly, everybody was throwing parties, so I kind of just took it out there. And I got to talk to people now. I'm selling tickets. I would sell tickets before the party, so before the party started, I already doubled my money. So you know, I'm
So it helps you as a salesman.
helping as a salesman, a people person. I went to a predominantly white school, so it kind of taught me how to move with that a little bit. Met a bunch of different nationalities. I got a friend from Malaysia. She's went back to Malaysia. That's my dog. Like, she cool as ever. So that it kind of helped me with that. So you know, you come into real estate and it's different races and you know different things to do, different events. So it just helped me that like that's what helped me adapt the most. I guess the money management being away in college and that helped as
Well,
well.
that's
But
all college experience. So you know, you could say that did help you, but that's interesting though, because as the price of college increases and the student loan debt crisis gets to be where it's going to be crazy and crazy, and people are going to have to make decisions. Another thing I want to ask you about though is I noticed that you also you went and took up classes like in carpentry.
right.
How'd you make that decision?
So I kind of was watching like Doug and D Gang on Instagram, and they were kind of doing their own work, and I was like, man, that'd be cool, you know, to if something occurred, then I would actually be able to do it myself. And I always had like an interest in carpentry. You know, like where everyone kind of has that cousin that fixes everything. So every time someone broke in the house, my cousin Chris would come over with a Budweiser and fix it, and I just watch him do it. So I kind of just started learning how to do sheetrock, and then the more I got into real estate, I'm like, man, I can make a nice little money this way, you know. So I wanted to learn a trade, and I realized, you know, in real estate, the people that work for you are never guaranteed to come to work or whatever it is. So that's kind of how I led to it. Like I said, I made that 75,000 from that one deal, and I actually went and paid for the school out of pocket.
Okay, so another piece of game. So you're giving out a lot of game, whether you even know it or not, right? So the first piece is you're not afraid, right? You've always been a hustler, and you got out of your comfort zone. You said when you went there, you were shy, but you got out of your comfort zone in terms of learning how to maneuver through the party scene.
Right.
And what you just said right there was key too, because you also are willing to invest in yourself. And a lot of people out there aren't willing to invest in yourself, whether it's like a guy told me before, he said, don't let school get in the way of your education. I said, what the hell does that mean?
That's a
He
good one.
said, yeah, he said, you always got to be willing to spend money to invest in yourself. You're not going to learn everything, in the books they give you in school. So you're also willing to do that. So you have a lot of traits of a straight entrepreneur just based upon your story. And you were doing these things. And I don't even know, based upon our conversation right now, you were cognizant of the fact that you were like doing all these things, which makes someone an entrepreneur. You're taking the risk, you're investing in yourself, you're getting out of your comfort zone. So I mean, sky's the limit for you, man. And I look forward to seeing like some of the things you do, man. Because getting rid of that fear and being able to take action, to me at least, is the biggest thing out of all that.
Yeah, you want to know the crazy part, man? I haven't really gotten rid of that fear though. Every day I wake up and I'm like, man, what the hell am I doing? In these past 3 years, man, I've been on a couple job interviews, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing out here. I'm crazy. What are you doing not having a job, man? You know, like it's been times where
But you're working through the fear, though.
yeah, it's been times where wholesaling kind of slow up and the money getting short, and I'm like, man, bro, what are you doing? And it's just like I can't go back, man. I can't go back to the job because it's like once you out here and you kind of see, the value of your time and the value of yourself, you just kind of like, man, listen, whatever happens, happens. Like I just gotta grind it out.
And that's where when you start to get into the game of having the rentals and having the income coming in, that's kind of like what helps things. Because people always ask me, am I a flipper, am I a wholesaler buyer? I say I do all of it. But the thing is, I have rental income to sustain you. And I also have dividend income from stocks. So you set up things to sustain you as you do all those other things. So you're
Right.
learning to get.
I'm on them stocks heavy right now too, man.
Yeah, no doubt. See,
Yeah, I'm on
and
that.
that's
I question you all day about it, man. I'm on it, man. 'Cause
yeah.
like you said, I actually the same way how you said with the real estate and stock thing. I was the same way because I'm in my mind it's just real estate is it. But I'm looking at people that's in real estate and I'm like, man, the people that really have money have a lot of money in stock. So
Yeah.
I actually went and made another Instagram called Stock Bully, and I bought a couple books and podcasts and YouTube, and I'm on it, man. I gave myself, I write everything down, so like I'm big on that. I write everything down. So I told myself I got till October to learn how to do stock.
See, another piece of game, writing things down. I'm heavy into that too, man, because my wife jokes with me about, because I write everything down. Because to me, like with goals and things, if I don't write it down, it doesn't exist. Like it becomes real to me once I write it. So that's another piece of game right there. Like, if you have things that you want to accomplish, write them down. It changes things. Like it really does change things, man. So, man, you gave us a lot of game already. Before we get out of here, is one thing I have to ask you though, because you brought up that you picked up a lot of books, whether it's stock, real estate, all those kind of things. So give me a couple books that, that you've read that I can, have the listeners look into in terms of books that you think are some of the better books. I'm pretty sure you read some trash, but you probably read some good ones too. So what are your favorite books in real estate? Or stock, either way.
I actually really, honestly, Jim, I really just kind of started reading this year. Like so I used to work at Franklin Mills Mall at what's it called? Stephen Barry's, right? And
Okay.
I catch the bus all the way up there. So I started reading on the bus, and I only kept reading on the bus because girls and older women like guys that read. So I was
You better get down with audio books though, man. Audio books is,
yeah, but I like to highlight when I read too. But I'm on the 50 reading like Terry Woods books, and I'm like, man, I need to start reading again. So as 2019 came along, I was all right. Well, I'm going to read one book a month. So what are we in? Month 6 right now. I'm 6 months in. I think my favorite books, I ain't gonna lie, everything I read right now, it's been good. Who Moved My Cheese was the first one that I started. That's a good one.
That's one of the ones I always recommend.
It's a quick read. It's straight to the point, and it's really what you need to hear, because I kind of had that similar situation with wholesaling where my cheese got moved, and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now? And that's where you get that parking ticket. That's when the mind start rolling. Like, all right, I got to do something.
Made you force you to be creative, yeah.
Who Moved My Cheese is one. The Richest Man in Babylon is like my favorite right now. Yeah. Like that's a book I can doubling back on.
I like that book because he tells it in the form of a story. He's giving you game, but it's told in the form of a story. So sometimes
I need stories.
Yeah,
I need stories. Like I read damn, what is it called? Not The Millionaire Next Door. Think and Grow Rich. Okay. And it kind of all over the place. I need like Rich Dad Poor Dad is a story. I need a nice little storyline with it, or I'm not interested really. Okay. So Rich Dad Poor Dad. I mean, everyone says Rich Dad Poor Dad. I got my fiance reading that right now, but if you ain't reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, you should definitely get it.
Here's the thing about that though, right? So Kiyosaki has a lot of great books, and everybody always goes to Rich Dad Poor Dad. But me personally, I think he wrote one that's called Cash Flow Quadrant, right?
Write that down.
Yeah. And Cash Flow Quadrant to me is the best of all the Rich Dad books, all the Kiyosaki books. And Rich Dad is good. Don't get me wrong. I love Rich Dad when I read it, but there's something about Cash Flow Quadrant. He breaks down the difference between being, an employee, being self-employed, a business owner, and an investor. And I had like an epiphany reading that book. So you may want to get that one. And one other one that I'll recommend to you, just based on the conversation, since you like stories, is a book called The Latte Factor.
What is it called?
The Latte Factor, the LATTE Factor, the Latte Factor.
Okay.
Because it's told in the form of a story, but it's a lot of like financial gems within there as well. So I think that's another good one you'll like, man. Okay. But anyway, man.
This is my book for month 6.
Okay.
About to start
Yeah, Herman. Okay, yeah, start.
Inside Secrets on Building a Business Career. I'm on everything right now, man. Reading is probably the best thing I could have discovered.
No, it is. Yeah. And by the way, because you said the one thing about it, you like to take notes. The thing that Audible added, like the audio books now, is because I do everything. I do regular books, Kindle books, audio, whatever. I read a lot, so I read like one a week, but I always have one of each at a time. But what they did was, in the audio book now, if you hear something, you can stop and add a bookmark at that spot and put a note actually right there. You can actually write a note. So you can go back, on that bookmark and see a note, so just for people who may be into that.
Another book I wanted to get into books, like I said, I got a son now, he's 9 months. And I realized, kids kind of mimic what they see. So I didn't want parents saying read these books and I'm not reading myself. So I kind of I'm trying to mentally get myself into, being a right kind of parent. I don't want to, tell them don't do this and I'm out here wilding out doing stuff. So
yeah, that's dope, man.
yeah.
It sounds like real estate just changed you overall as a person, man. Like,
Yeah, man, made me tighten up.
that's what's up.
Actually, I'm around a lot of good people, man. People like you, Aisha, Reed, Doug, Bruce, like a lot of people I'm around, they kind of move a little different.
And that's what you gotta do. You always hear people say, man, you gotta watch your circle, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, man, you giving us a lot of gems, man, even down to, reading because your kids are watching. There's so many gems that are in here, man. I just can't wait to see what I'm gonna use as a clip because you gave us a lot of gems in here, man. I want to say thank you for one, man, and good luck to you.
We're supposed to do this. I appreciate it. I'm happy I did it.
And I look forward to seeing you progress, man. One day you're gonna be the biggest hard money lender in the city or something, man. Out here giving them checks.
I hope so. I'm hard on myself. I hope so, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. But listen, man, thanks for your time. I don't want to hold you forever, but I just want to say thank you and good luck to you. But how can the people who want to follow you on IG, whatever, see what's going on with you? What's your IG?
My Instagram is real estate bully. You can also check my website out, cashbyphilly.com. Right here. Okay. Yeah, I wear everything as well.
Another piece of game right there. Wear your own stuff, right?
I got a card magnet. I got everything, man.
You're going hard with the marketing, man.
Yeah, I'm a big walking billboard. Some people are a little shy, man. You might not walk up to me and see it, but if it's on my shirt, you might inquire a little bit.
Yeah, but when you get out of being shy, you start getting checks for $75K, right?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Listen, man. So I'm gonna put your IG and everything in the description box.
Okay.
So people follow you and all that, man. But again, thanks for your time. Good luck to you in the future, man. And I'm always here if you ever ask me any questions, and I'll be asking you questions too. Because listen, I learn from you. I learn from everybody. Another reason, and I mention this in every podcast, is bringing people on for representation to show that people that look like us are out here doing things. But also, I learned from you that ticket, John, is fire. And for people who don't know, when you go follow him on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about in terms of his marketing. He's a marketing maven right now. But anyway, man, Tom, thanks for your time.
I appreciate it.
And we'll bring you back on when you make that next step. You get to that next level, man. And you doing the buying holds or the hard money. We're gonna talk again.
For sure, I'm on it. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks for your time, bro, man. Listen, for those out there listening, man, make sure that if you're watching the video, hit the like button, share the video. We're on every podcast platform, whatever you are, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. We're on all those. Make sure you share this with your people. Because again, we're 5 stars, all that good stuff. Because we're trying to show that there's people like us that are out here doing things, man. And shout out to the whole real estate community in Philadelphia and the whole East Coast, man, all over the world. Because like I said, I feel a paradigm shift in people sharing information, and that's always a blessing, man. So until next time, man, listen, it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. The game elevates, and I'll see you guys on top. Peace.
All right, peace.